All right, nickel and copper. I apologize. Yesterday, I was convinced only copper was an online class, but now I realize it is both of you. So today should go much more smoothly, and today's video should represent both of your classes. So if you have not yet joined class in Spork, make sure you leave the video and do that now. If you haven't completed the 10.2 warm-up, make sure you do that now. You have to complete the warm-up before the timer on it ends, and the timer ends 15 minutes after class starts. So if you don't get it done by then, you will not get any points. Once you've done that, watch this video, and then once you've watched the video, join the meeting where I will be, and then you can work on your 10.2 notes check with my help, and then you're going to stay in the meeting until I excuse you. Remember, all these things that have double asterisks next to them, these will be linked in your respective Element channel team post. Today you need this stuff in order to complete the lesson and the notes check. Here's the CJ. Today we're going to talk about direct and indirect characterization. It's a part of literary analysis. And then the 10.2 notes check is due today. There was an issue with the homework assignment, but I have since fixed that. If you have questions about how to do the homework, please message me. If you're reading Hobbit, we've explained that yesterday. If you're reading Wonder, we've explained that yesterday. Your weekly deadline is, like I said, next Monday by 10 a.m. All right, warm-up review. Making predictions is an important part of reader engagement. Like we said yesterday, when you make predictions about the book, it keeps you interested and it makes you more engaged with what's going on. The two types of reasons to make predictions are there's useful reasons and there's unuseful reasons. Remember, useful reasons are ones that keep us interested in the book. The unuseful ones are the ones that kind of help us convince ourselves we're smarter than our friends because we guessed the ending of the book before they did. You can't make predictions if you don't understand the main ideas of a text. And if you don't know what I mean by main ideas, make sure you check your, I think it's your 9.1 notes sheet. But it's basically who are the characters, where are they, what happened to them last chapter, what are they trying to do, why are they trying to do it, etc. Having expectations allows a text to meet or exceed those expectations, which only makes you more interested in the book. All right, like I said, today we're talking about direct and indirect characterization. It's a cool thing that is used in fiction novels and which we're going to pay attention to as we read The Hobbit or Wonder, whatever you're reading. Okay, so characterization is when you express a fictional character's unique personality. When you kind of convey to the audience what is special or different or interesting about a character in your story. There's two ways to do this. There's one called direct characterization, which is it's the quicker way, and it's honestly the less interesting way. This is where the author kind of pauses the story to explain a character's personality. And when I say pause the story, I mean they literally don't describe what the character is doing or what anyone else in the story is doing. They just take a moment to say something specific about the character. For example, if I said, let's imagine I'm telling a story about a pizza man, and I tell the part about how the pizza man gets the order, he makes the pizza, he gets in his car, he drives to the house. All of those things I've described are actions. He's doing all of those things. That's the story. But then he gets to the door, and before he rings the doorbell, I'm going to pause the story and I'm going to tell you something about my pizza man. I'm going to say, Johnny, the pizza man, was really, really shy, period. That's information about Johnny, but the story actually stops so that I can tell you that. And then the next thing I tell you is probably what Johnny does when he rings the doorbell. So that's direct characterization, where you kind of pause the story and you explain something about your character. And it's really the least interesting way to do it. All right, for example one, these two examples here, number one and number two, these are examples of direct characterization, where whatever story these characters were in has been paused so that I, the author, can tell you something about them. Corporal Sarah was a very smart woman. In this example, you don't know what Sarah's doing. She's not actually doing anything. The only reason you know she is smart is because I have told you she's smart. You didn't see her do anything smart. You're just taking me at my word. So I am directly telling information about Sarah's character. That's why that's direct characterization. In the second example, Jake gave the woman $1 because he's generous. Again, the thing I'm telling you about Jake is that he's generous. I'm telling you that specifically. The only reason you know he's generous is because I'm telling you. Now, if I say Jake gave the woman $1, period, you can see him doing something that seems generous, but you don't know if he's doing it because he's got an ulterior motive, or maybe that dollar is poison for all we know. So even though there is action in this sentence, Jake gives the woman $1, I have paused the story after he gives the dollar to explain why he did it. Again, I'm directly telling you that Jake is generous, so that's direct characterization. Indirect characterization is much more fun. It's way more enjoyable to read, and it's kind of more challenging to do as a writer, which makes it more interesting. This is when the author shows a character's personality through their own thoughts, through their actions, and through their behaviors. So I don't pause the story. The story keeps going. You see what my character thinks, you see how they act, you see how they behave, and that kind of suggests something about the character, which is, again, much more fun, way more interesting. So here I'm going to convey the same information that I did in my direct characterization examples, but I'm going to do it indirectly. I'm going to show you my characters doing something, and if you understand why they're doing it, you're going to understand something about their characterization. Corporal Sarah did the calculation quickly in her head. So this shows you that she's smart without me having to say Sarah is smart. I don't directly have to tell you something about Sarah. I'm just going to show you her being very smart. And for the second example, Jake gave his last dollar to the woman. So since it's his last dollar, that suggests that he's generous. I didn't have to say Jake was generous. I just show him doing something that is probably very generous. So that's indirect characterization. If I want to tell you that my character is brave or smart or generous, then I'm going to show you them doing something brave or smart or generous. All right, that's the end of the lesson. Work on your classwork portion of your note sheet. Join the video meeting before you do so that I can help you. And then once you're done, I'll excuse you and make sure you put your note sheet back in your English binder.